Okay, we're rolling.
All right, this is an interview at Delmar Place, Delmar, New York. It is the 23rd of June, 2006, 9:45 a.m. The interviewers are Wayne Clark and Mike Russert. Could you give me your name, your full name, date of birth, and place of birth, please?
John Noonan, born in Cohoes, New York in 1916.
Okay. What was your educational background prior to entering the service?
Well, I went to Cohoes High School and then went to Siena and graduated from Siena.
Okay. What year did you graduate?
41.
Okay. Do you remember where you were and how you heard about Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, I know it was a Sunday afternoon and I heard it on the radio, and I never heard or knew where Pearl Harbor was before I heard it on the radio that day. And I heard a lot about it later.
Mm-hmm. What was your reaction, your initial reaction when you heard about this?
I couldn't understand why, if they were attacking the United States, they hit some place like Pearl Harbor that nobody else ever heard of. We didn't realize that it was a big naval base, you know, and they had good reason to attack it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you enlist or were you drafted?
I was drafted.
Now you ended up in the Army Air Corps?
Yeah.
Did you ever fly before ending up there, or did you ever have any desire to fly?
No. And as a matter of fact, while I was in there, I didn't do any flying. The last bit of flying I did was from California to, what was the camp in Jersey?
Fort Dix?
Fort Dix, yeah. Fort Dix, when I was getting out of the service.
Where did you go for your basic training?
Manhattan Beach. That's where it started, Manhattan Beach. Then I went to Florida. The Army or Air Force had a big training place in Florida. It was at Miami Beach.
What was basic like? Was it a lot of drill and ceremony and exercising?
Yeah.
Did you fire any weapons in basic?
Right at the end, just at the very end. And I wasn't very good at it.
Now, did you go in to get any specialized training at all?
I went to weather school.
Where was that?
Keesler Field,
What state was that?
Mississippi.
Do you remember how long that training was? A couple months or?
Oh yeah, it was around 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of classes did you have while you were there?
Well, they were all about, you know, the clouds in the sky and how they looked, and
Meteorology classes?
yeah.
Now, because of your educational background, did they offer to send you to officer candidate school?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
After you left Mississippi, where did you go?
I think I went to, I went to the bomber base in Syracuse, New York.
Oh, in Rome?
No.
It was in Syracuse itself?
Syracuse.
Huh.
What they did there, they conditioned, was it B-19s or
B-17?
B-17, B-17s for shipment over
Okay.
to England. That was before they invaded Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And they would fly after they got them conditioned in Syracuse, they'd fly them up to Maine, that spot up in Maine there. And then they did more conditioning, and they flew them over to England.
Okay. What did they have you doing there? What was your specific job?
I worked in the weather station in Syracuse.
Okay. Did you have to predict the weather, or
No,
What-
well, they had, I forgot what they call it. No, we did all the plotting of the weather
oh, okay,
maps,
okay.
but they,
You had to keep track of the fronts, in other words.
oh,
so-
yeah.
Now, how long were you in Syracuse?
Not very long. At the most, 6 months.
And where did you go from there?
From there, I went to some place in Utah. What was the,
Was it Salt Lake?
no, there was a special name for the camp there. That was, before you went overseas, you went there.
Okay.
And then we got shipped up to Seattle. And
Fort Lewis in Seattle?
yeah,
Okay.
but on the train, on the way up, the news came over that Japan had surrendered. So actually, the war was all over, but they still shipped us out when we got to Seattle. And I
No,
wanted,
well, I'm going to go back. What did you do while you were in Utah?
practically nothing, waiting around to get shipped. We were only there a couple of days, and out we went on a train from Utah up to Seattle.
What was the reaction when everyone heard about the end of the war?
Oh, they were thrilled. None of them thought, or I thought, that we would never be going overseas, but we did.
Now, whereabouts overseas did you go?
I wound up on Tinian.
Oh, okay.
It's in the Marianas.
Yep.
And when we got there, that's Marianas is where one of the planes that bombed Japan took off from there. But that was all over by the time I got there.
Okay.
So you got there after the surrender.
Yeah,
What did you do while you were there?
to tell you the truth, we did nothing.
Did you ever have any kind of injuries at all while you were in the service?
How long did they keep you over there if you weren't doing anything?
It was too long. I'd say 5, 6 months.
Oh,
Then we came back on a small aircraft carrier when we were getting out. We went to Los Angeles. And you had your choice. You could either take a train to the East Coast or fly. And I flew over to, was it Fort Dix?
Mm-hmm.
And
What was your equipment like that you used?
Well, it was all different weather stations.
Mhm,
They have it
mhm.
all set up. All the equipment would be there, you know.
Mhm.
And,
Now, when you were at a weather station, basically your job was to plot the fronts and so
yeah,
on?
you would get it over to teletype, you
Mhm.
know, and then you'd plot it on a map, all the fronts and everything like that. And then the higher ups would take that, and the pilots would come in and look at it, you know, and they'd get an okay from the weather station.
Whether they could
Fly.
fly or not.
What were your officers like?
I had loads of them.
Mhm.
They were all very nice, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. If you had to be in the service, it was a good spot to be.
How was the food? Was the food good?
No,
No.
Now, did you ever receive any, what did you receive? The American Defense Medal and any
yeah,
others?
I got some things I never knew. You know, if you were in a battle zone or something
Mhm.
like that, I didn't realize sometimes I was in a battle zone. But I got, years later, I got the, you know,
World War II Victory Medal,
yeah,
probably.
yeah, it was when I went to the veterans to go to get medical exams and things like that.
Mhm.
I saw in the paper the different things that I had gotten. I never knew that I got them.
Yeah.
Were there any amusing stories you remember?
Oh, the only amusing story that stands out was when we were on Tinian. Our outfit ran out of beer. And this friend of mine, he worked in where they had the Jeeps and everything like that.
The
you know.
motor pool?
So a bunch of us went with him, and he swiped one of the Jeeps, and we went to the next company down, and we intermingled with them and drank some of their beer. And while we were down there, he parked the Jeep up on the top of the hill. And gee, all of a sudden we hear this noise, and the Jeep is coming down the hill, and it hits this mammoth stone. We walked home and made believe we never knew anything about the Jeep or anything.
Now, what kind of unit, what was the name of the unit that you were in?
20th Air Force and six bomb group. They were the ones that did the flying over Japan, you know, and hit the two cities.
Mhm.
But that was all over by the time I got there. But they took off from Tinian.
Mhm.
And
Did your weather unit have a designation at all, or?
just a six bomb group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Were there any people that you remember that left an impression on you that you served with?
Oh, so many. Not really.
Mhm.
Did you see any USO shows while you were over there?
Yeah. I don't know whether they were over there or over here. I can't remember who were in them, but
Okay.
they hit a lot of them, you know.
Yeah.
After you left this, when were you discharged? Do you remember?
I was in about 4 years.
Mhm.
You probably got discharged in about 1946 sometime.
Yeah, it was 46. I think it was early 46.
Okay.
After you were discharged, did you ever make use of the GI Bill?
No. You mean for education?
Well, anything.
Did you buy a house?
Buy a
or-
house with it or anything?
Yeah, I bought a house.
Mhm. Did you ever use the 5220 Club?
What was that?
They gave you, it was like an unemployment insurance after you got out, or an unemployment payment of $20 a month for 50, or a week
week.
for 52 weeks.
I don't know. I can't recall on that.
Okay. Did you ever join any veterans organizations?
No, I don't join anything.
Did you ever stay in contact with anyone that was in service with you?
No. Never saw anybody.
How do you think your time in the service had an effect or changed anything in your life?
Well, I got married while I was in service.
Oh, okay. Did you meet her while you were in service, or did you know her before?
No, I went to high school with her.
Mm-hmm.
Not really, no.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your interview.
Okay, yeah.